Fox Soul challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Of Christopher Shure continues to draw near as a pool of more than 200 potential jurors assembled Monday at 17th Circuit Court in downtown Grand Rapids. They all filled out a questionnaire that will be used to determine their fit for this trial. Of course, this case has been highly publicized, so weeding out any potential biases will be an important and perhaps difficult task.
We don't want people that have already made up their mind before they hear the evidence. It's a basic tenet of criminal law and our Constitution.
Tuesday, these potential jurors will be questioned by the prosecution and defense as they too work to determine how these people's backgrounds, beliefs, and biases could affect their reasoning in the trial. Fox 17 will be in the courtroom Tuesday when jury selection takes place, but no cell phones or cameras are allowed.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Quadell, I think we're going to be talking about this trial a lot in the next few weeks. I imagine this jury selection that's going on in Grand Rapids, Michigan will take an extended period, but this is the police officer Christopher Shure, who has been charged with second-degree murder for his shooting of a Congolese migrant in the back of the head while they were fighting over his taser. There are a number of videos floating around, which we will look at some point in the coming weeks. But I think this is an important conversation because we've been talking about self-defense, and we have been talking about the right to use deadly force in a physical confrontation. So what we have here is we have Patrick Loyola was driving a car that the license plates had been switched on, as in the license plate did not match the car. This officer pulls him over. Patrick Loyola gets out of the car. He starts running. All of this, we got 4 videos. We've got a dash cam video, we've got a body cam video, we've got the passenger of Patrick's car, and we've got a front doorbell video that catch Patrick and him in a foot chase and then a physical altercation. We believe, most people believe Patrick was running. He was intoxicated. He was drunk that morning. He was due to go turn himself into the court to be sentenced on another criminal charge. He had a pretty robust criminal history in the very short time he had been in these United States. And there was a fight. There was a fist fight initiated by Patrick. He had tried tasing Patrick a couple of times. It did not work. Patrick had partially got on top of him. They were fighting. He was screaming, "Let go of my taser, let go of my taser." And then the officer pulled out the gun and shot him in the back of the head.
Was Patrick ever seen on video actually holding the taser in his hand?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
and
there's 4 videos and there's 4
I've
angles.
seen cops
right.
get into physical altercations with suspects and will lie and say 2 things. Stop grabbing my weapon, stop grabbing my weapon, stop grabbing my taser, or stop resisting. When the suspect is not resisting, but they use that language on camera and video to justify the extent of force that they choose to use to justify that force. If Patrick never actually had the taser in his hand, I would really want to see, and jurors will see, hopefully, where his hand actually was, or was it the cop yelling that, pretending that he was grabbing his taser because he knew what he was planning to do?
Well, there's another nuance, right? So the officer Shure had discharged the taser twice, and it had, I mean, we've got video here. He had, obviously you see his hand grabbing the taser there.
Let's watch this video. Let's cue this thing in. I really want to watch this.
The taser! What's the problem? Let go of the taser!
So you see that he did have his hand physically on it.
And the body cam deactivated.
There's another wrinkle. Well, no one's arguing the body cam got knocked off while they were fighting. There's no one arguing. But here's another wrinkle. The officer Shure had discharged the taser twice. So it was no longer a working taser, right? So it would be like shooting a gun and there not
That
being
would
any
not be
bullets.
work because they had been
Right.
discharged.
Now the officer, Christopher, is saying he did not realize and that it was no longer working. And you saw, I mean, it was in his hand. It was in Patrick's hand. Patrick was fighting with him.
But it looks like they were standing up.
Well, right, and they
they're
end up on the
and they're
ground,
wrestling like
and
this.
then he shoots him in the back of the head. There's all these camera angles, all this. So I'm asking.
But there has to be a lie somewhere.
Well, here's my big question for you.
Because prosecutors, I don't believe prosecutors would have brought a murder charge against this officer unless they proved that this officer was lying in his description of the events.
Well,
prosecutors are very, very meticulous in officer-involved shooting cases, and they're very thorough in investigating these cases. And in Texas, I wouldn't be surprised if the DA's office had an investigation going on simultaneously. Texas Rangers.
Well, this never would have been prosecuted in
But
Texas.
I just doubt, for some reason, that this man's version of events, the officer,
Well, it's all
was
captured on
believable
video.
to the prosecutors.
But it's all, and the whole thing is
So
captured on 4
obviously
video.
there's something on video
Well-
that proves that the shooting was not justified.
See, I think the question
4
is
videos?
that he shot him in the back of the head.
So the prosecutor's going to look at 4 separate videos
Yeah.
and say, okay, those 4 separate videos will get him off, but we're going to indict him anyway.
hold on, but
Obviously, there's something on the video that says, you know what, we have to indict this man.
I mean, first of all, Grand Rapids, very, very Democrat. Okay, and this is an old case. This case is 3-4 years old, and it was at the height of the aftermath of George Floyd and the social justice season in America. This has gone up to the Michigan Supreme Court already. There's been interlocutory appeals. This has been a highly contested, just to get to this point, right? Usually your appeals are after the fact, because we see exactly what happened. Patrick ignored his directions. Patrick engaged in a foot chase, a violent physical confrontation, did grab the taser, and the officer then shot him in the back of the head. And my biggest question for you, and why I want to talk about this, if we have this other incident where we had either a shove or a push and bullying and a stab to the chest that killed someone, and it's your position that that is self-defense, was the officer justified, and was it self-defense when the suspect had attacked him, had ignored his and grabbed his taser? Was he justified in using deadly force?
Well, first of all, you're comparing apples and
I don't think
artichokes
so.
to compare Carmelo Anthony to this particular case involving an officer-involved
How
shooting.
so?
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
We have yet to see any video in the Carmelo Anthony case, but in this particular case of this officer-involved shooting death, there's 4 different videos.
Right.
And a body cam going off and on suspiciously, in my opinion. And now we have some of the best legal minds, as you're describing, that this case is going up the appellate system in Michigan. If that's the case and the prosecutor's office is still determined on prosecuting this man, it is only because expert legal minds have told them this is murder, you gotta prosecute. And where are the appellate courts ruling, oh no, this man should have never been charged, toss it out, throw it out? No appellate court threw the case out. No appellate court said don't prosecute him. So obviously there's more to this story on
not.
those videos.
The whole story is
that
whether or not-
justifies in the eyes of prosecutors to indict this cop for murder. So in Carmelo Anthony's case, we don't have video. We all wish we had video. We all wish we could see what actually took place. All we have is eyewitness testimony, and some of that testimony is conflicting one another. Charles, that officer, in my opinion, did something more that's on those videos that a jury is going to see. Now, a jury is going to decide if what the prosecutor's version of the chain of events are true. And it's highly probable, I guarantee you, that they caught this cop lying in this investigation about what took place and how it took place. And I don't believe the body cam was just suspiciously turned off and then was turned back on in a tussle. I don't buy that.
Okay, but let's assume all the facts that everyone is alleging, right? Let's assume that what everything's captured is true, and that the argument, because the argument of the DA's office is that it was unreasonable for him to shoot him in the back of the head while they're involved in a physical confrontation, right? And then the entire law enforcement community's position, right, other than the DA's office, is that, you know, he was trying to get his taser, he was in fear of his life, and he was, you know, he got attacked by
But he
this
shot him
guy.
in the back of the head.
While they were
So
on the ground.
was his back turned to him?
No, he was on top of him.
So if he's on top of him, how he shoot him in the back of the head?
Just like that. But here's my real question.
I don't know, Charles.
We have all these people in America right now that are saying, you better not, right? If you shoved me, he deserved it. If he touched him, he deserved it. Any use of physical force directed by Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony justified his use of deadly force in self-defense. And there are people who are applauding that. I feel like that was your position, right?
That is my position, is that Carmelo Anthony
So
had a right to self-defense, had a
did
right to not be
Officer Shure have a
terroristically
right to
threatened,
self-defense?
had a right to not be assaulted. But Charles, I do not believe that seasoned prosecutors who have fought this case along with defense attorneys
but what's your
all the way
opinion?
through the appellate system are still planning to go forward because it's politically expedient for his office to do so.
It's
Charles,
liberalism.
this case has been going on for years, and some of the brightest legal minds sitting on the bench in the state of Michigan have determined that this case should go forward. So something's wrong here, Charles. There's more to this story that has to come out.
Let's say there's not. If it's okay for Carmelo Anthony to stab Austin Metcalf in the chest, is it okay for every police officer that is punched, shoved, bit, spit on? I mean, all of those happened to me. I never shot nobody, right? I think the worst was when one guy threw feces on me, right? All of those, should I just boom? And then would you have been you'd have been crazy.
Remember, you're dealing with officers who are trained,
so they're still human
supposedly
beings.
highly trained.
Okay.
We had taxpayers have invested in that training and the continuous education in that training. These officers have taser, pepper spray, nightsticks.
Not always.
The gamut of the weapons.
Right.
Something's wrong here because I never heard you say that he used mace.
Well, we don't know if he was carrying it.
Oh, come on.
I didn't carry pepper spray.
Strange.
I didn't carry pepper spray or a taser.
Charles.
I carried a flashlight, a gun, and two pairs of handcuffs.
So you want America to believe, that's watching this show, that prosecutors would risk in a high-profile case as this, moving forward, getting a not guilty verdict and having their office embarrassed.
Yeah, I would.
Instead of just saying, hey, let a grand jury hear it, grand jury dismisses it, then the prosecutor's office hanging their head on the grand jury, so the jury let him go. They would do that before they risk being highly exposed and embarrassed with a not guilty verdict.
Position that this is the DA's office in Grand Rapids, Michigan, attempting a modern-day lynching of this Christopher Shure, looking to imprison him for life.
Did you just use the word modern-day lynching?
That's a radical position.
Are you smoking dope or dog food?
This officer
modern-day lynching.
Pulled over a repeated
This
criminal.
man was unarmed. He didn't have a weapon.
He wasn't unarmed because he had his hand on that taser.
Did he have? That wouldn't work. That was not working.
No, the officer is saying he didn't realize that.
So now he's got a taser in his hand, allegedly, not even pointed at the cop. It's like this from what I saw. The taser's still pointing at him.
But how can you say it's okay for Carmelo Anthony to stab him to death?
You call that a lynching?
I think it's
Do you know how many cops have executed black men for being unarmed, being compliant, and they come up dead at the hands of these cops in traffic stops? And you call this case a modern-day lynching?
That's what
you white folks have gone crazy.
Here's the thing. Well, I mean, you want to talk about that. Look at the numbers of officers executed versus the numbers of people officers kill, right? And break it down by race. I don't like that math. Here we have an officer.
You seem to love it. You bring it up quite a bit.
But hold on. Well, because I know numbers piss you off.
Because it fits the narrative of the people who agree with you.
Data is data. Truth is truth.
Charles, let me tell you something.
Okay.
I'm very suspect of data in this country coming out of three-letter agencies.
Data.
Even you have condemned the Justice Department's data before.
Right, because the Biden
so
administration lied to America.
So why is it now you want to talk about the data
I don't even care.
and how you agree with the data?
About these videos.
Then turn right around and say the Biden administration, when they released the same data, it was incorrect, it was corrupted, and it was no good because they're Democrats.
On earth?
So if they're Democrats, the data is false. If they're white Republican conservatives, you'll take the data.
No. Actually, I just want data to be accurate, and the Biden administration admitted that their data was not accurate. And I think law enforcement nowadays would rather manipulate data so they could argue crime is down, crime is down. That's why we don't do anything. But here, I can't imagine
There's something missing in this case, Charles.
That's the nonsense. How is it okay to stab someone for shoving you and not shoot someone for attacking you and taking your taser?
But you cannot compare Carmelo Anthony's case to this.
Why
for
not?
several reasons. There are multiple videos. Carmelo did not have at his disposal mace and a taser to defend himself against somebody who was 220 pounds. Carmelo Anthony's 135 pounds, almost a 100-pound difference in weight. And now Carmelo Anthony, he ain't got mace. He ain't got a taser. He ain't got a regular call backup for help. Come on, Charles. Great minds in the legal area in Michigan have determined that this case should move forward.
Liberalism gone wild, pushing this prosecution that is risking about. If Patrick would have just sat in his car and got arrested for switching license plates, driving drunk.
But what if
again,
he was intoxicated?
Again. Well, he's intoxicated.
But we watch drunk white folks get stopped all the time.
Okay.
And damn near beat the hell out of the police. And don't nothing happen.
If a drunk white
we watch drunk white folks get stopped all the time, spit on the cops, slap the cops, kick him in the butt, get in his car and drive off, and he still go to jail without a scratch.
If a drunk white guy grabbed an officer's taser and the officer shot him, nobody would care.
But that's not what they do.
Nobody else.
But that's not what they do.
That actually,
in majority of the cases, when a white guy disrespects a white cop like that, they're real respectful. They still speak to the suspect
we talk about
with sincerity and compassion and mercy and sympathy and empathy. Come on, Charles.
So if you
Carmelo Anthony's case don't equal like this,
but
man.
If, as an officer, if let's say you were the officer, right, and let's say it was a white guy. And a guy and y'all are fighting for your life.
I'll be very honest with you.
And the guy grabs your taser.
If I can see he's clearly drunk, you don't think drunk? Let me say this to you. If I can say he's clearly drunk and he's running away from me, and I've put the taser on him and it ain't working, I would have stepped back knowing he's clearly drunk and put some pepper spray on him because he's clearly drunk anyway. At what point do you feel a person that's clearly intoxicated that you have to use deadly force to shoot him in the back of the head? The back of the head.
I wish he would have shot him.
But
I don't think it's murder.
And then your body cam.
I don't think anyone thinks it's murder.
Then your body cam suspiciously turn off, then turn back on, and you lie, say, well, the suspect did it. I'm not buying that, Charles.
You think while they're fighting, he turned off his body. He took time out of fighting for his life.
It's happened before.
From this violent criminal.
It's happened
this
before.
Repeat violent
Charles,
criminal.
It has happened in multiple cases.
Right, but I'm talking about
where
this
these
case.
cops turn off their body cams.
Don't doubt that.
Then turn them back on.
There are corrupt cops that do all kind of stuff, and I am a big advocate for cameras.
It's across the country.
But we have 4 cameras that all caught the fact that Patrick started this. Patrick was fighting with him. Patrick was trying to take his taser. He was fighting for his life, and he shot him to save his own life. And why are we prosecuting him for murder?
I think it's going to come down to when he shot him. Was Patrick a threat at that time?
Yeah, he was. He was on top of him.
Charles.
And it's the thing.
In the back of the head.
Everyone
in the back of the
this
head.
Congolese migrant who should have been deported long before for being a criminal, right? We have this whole groundswell, community activism, protests, only because of the color of his skin. If the officer was black, never be indicted. Never be indicted.
Charles,
no one
I
would
disagree
care.
with
It's
you
just
on
like
that.
the 14-year-old who was
me ask you a
stabbed and
question.
killed in Dallas.
Charles.
A black girl killed by another black girl. No one cares.
Charles,
Anthony,
I disagree with that.
And Metcalf, everyone cares.
Let me ask you a question.
It's all designed race hate. That's what it's to stoke.
So what do you think is the root cause if a black person kills a white person and there's not a lot of fanfare about
44
it?
times more likely.
What's the root cause of that?
Well, I don't know.
I'll tell you the root cause.
Every instance is different.
I'll tell you the root cause.
We're individuals.
For hundreds of years, black people had to watch their members of their family, their community,
so that justifies
go to jail and be executed for justifiable crimes, for killing a white person when it was justifiable, and they were executed. They had to watch black people like young Penny.
So you mean
like
dead people
like young
things.
Mr. Penny, who was executed for killing 2 young white girls, only later to learn that a white man did it, not their little brother. And they executed him in an electric chair at 14 years of age.
It's horrible.
It is because of the documented case after case after case, historical instances of injustice that black people are still hurt and wounded and justifiably so bitter about in this country.
So you think so a black person is 44 more times likely to commit a violent crime against a white person than a white person is to a black person.
I don't buy the numbers like that.
So you think because of that violence is okay?
Where you get them from Sean Hannity?
No, I did not get them from Sean Hannity.
Where you go, Tucker
I
Carlson?
actually researched
You got them from
this
Tucker
stuff,
Carlson?
And I am interested in data. In fact, the most overrepresentation in the federal data is falsely identifying non-white people as white.
So then let me ask you a question.
For the purpose
why
of
every time,
statistics,
why
and when it's the
90%,
offender.
why 90% of the time you see a mass shooter, he's a white boy?
Because the media
and
wants
he's a
you,
white supremacist.
Because the media,
and he's a white supremacist.
Because the media lies to you.
90% of the time, it's a white boy in love with Adolf Hitler and white supremacy.
The overwhelming majority of mass shooters are African American.
And they shooting each other. They ain't shooting you white folks.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Faceoff, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Faceoff.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut
neighborhoods
the hell up.
and
You
let
interrupt me all the
speak to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Brothers and sisters, I'm going to say something that's not popular to many of us, but we need to hear this, and somebody has to say it. Encourage our young brothers, in particular, and sisters, when they deal with law enforcement, comply, comply, comply. Even if you feel that the officer's conduct is wrong, it's egregious, let's make sure you file complaints after the fact and let us fight for you and expose the corruption and excessive use of force by that particular police officer. Don't hold your grievance out there at the scene on the streets, because trust me, you're not going to win it there. Live to fight another day in a courtroom. So please, brothers, I know it may not sound like a tough thing, but comply.
On a different topic, I was going to talk just about Christopher Shure, but Quanell, very right about compliance. Don't waive your constitutional rights, and that's coming from an attorney. Don't allow this search. But let's talk about Christopher Shure. For decades, for centuries, police officers, law enforcement were allowed to get away with incredible violence without consequence, right? The case that bothers me the most, Tamir Rice. That officer should spend life in prison. He executed a 12-year-old boy playing with a gun. It was disgusting. But Christopher Shure represents the societal overreaction to that. If you attack a police officer, if you fight with a police officer, if you pull a taser away from a police officer, that police officer has every right to shoot you and kill you. You can't do that. This man is being wrongfully prosecuted.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious. Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? Was just gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving. Like hearing voices? Like your text-to-emoji ratio? Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious. Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal. Love, you're mine.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
It's time for today's Face-Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Trial of Kason Allison, who's charged in the fatal stabbing of Joe Ramirez at Belton High School in 2022.
3 new witnesses took the stand: a bystander in the bathroom during the fight, another good friend of Ramirez, and Ramirez's brother.
News 10's Madison Herber has more on what was brought up in court today.
Before the jury was even brought in, Judge Wade Faulkner warned those connected to Ramirez not to engage with social media news outlets about the case. That came after someone connected to the victim commented on our Facebook post about the trial. Once the jury was seated, cross-examination continued on the witness brought in late yesterday. Joshua Grimes told the court he and Ramirez were good friends. He was also in the bathroom the day of the fight. Grimes responded to a number of questions asked by the defense with, "I don't know, sir," or "It's been 3 years." The defense asked Grimes why he didn't give his phone to police that day. Grimes responded with, "The police didn't ask." Both sides refreshed the court and witnesses' memory by replaying the hallway security footage and the video of the fight. In the hallway video, you see Ramirez and 3 others enter the bathroom. Seconds later, you see Ramirez and Grimes in the doorway arguing with Raina Barber, who testified yesterday. Barber argues with them for about a minute before storming off. Then right after, another student walks in, and then about 20 seconds after that, you see Allison and his friend calmly enter the bathroom. The fight happens in a matter of minutes, and then you see Ramirez and some of his friends run out. The other student, who was just a witness, leaves, and then you see Allison run out and another student following him. Grimes said that he doesn't remember Allison wanting to fight. Grimes also said that he didn't know Ramirez to be a fighter, which is different from what was said yesterday by friends of Ramirez and Allison. The final person to take the stand today is brother to the victim, Josh Rios. They are related by marriage and have been related since they were 2. He explained to the court that prom was the Saturday before the May 3rd fatal fight. Rios provided a different perspective of the conflict.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, this is a case involving murder that took place in Belton County, Texas at Belton High School in 2022. The suspect, Mr. Casey Allison, and the victim, Joe Ramirez, 2 high school students who got into an altercation in the bathroom, and the suspect, Mr. Allison, who is white, stabs and kills Mr. Ramirez in this fight. We've heard nothing across America about this case. There have been no high-profile coverage across the country about this case. We've had no Pride Brothers or Proud Brothers or white organizations marching in Belton County demanding that Mr. Allison be prosecuted and spend life in prison. We've had no white folks all over TikTok speaking about how Mr. Allison should be sent to prison and justice be served swiftly. But why? Because in this case, the suspect killing the victim is a white suspect killing a brown young man, Mr. Ramirez. But in Carmelo Anthony's case, everybody around America, especially in white and black circles, got something to say about this, and the media has been giving continuous coverage to the Carmelo Anthony case. But what about this case in Belton County? Very similar circumstances. On school property, like Frisco, Texas, involving 2 students like Frisco, Texas. One produces a knife, stabs his aggressor, and the suspect charged with murder is claiming self-defense, the same way in Frisco, Texas. But where's all of these voices condemning Mr. Allison as a scumbag murderer like you did against Carmelo Anthony? You don't hear none of that. because I believe the suspect is white in white Belton County who killed a young man of color.
Okay, so let me throw you a curveball, because what you're framing this is, oh, white America is, no, you're complaining that white America isn't rallying for Kaysen. I think it's Kaysen, not Casey Allison. The problem is a lot of the people that were upset about the Carmelo Anthony situation was that people were, mostly people of color, were donating hundreds of thousands of dollars, making all kind of crazy posts. I saw one today that it claimed that the cause of death for Austin Metcalf was using Molly, right? Not a knife to the heart. And there were all these people on social media justifying the murder. And I think they were justifying it because it was a white kid killed by a black guy. And racism, although we pretend it's only a stream that runs both ways, it's not. It's a circle that people keep turning the wheel of racism. I'll say it real quick. Kaysen Allison, absolute scumbag murder, right? He is a horrible human being. I hope that he gets convicted. And I don't care at all the fact that he's white and his victim was a person of color. In fact, I believe that if Carmelo Anthony was the victim and Austin Metcalf was the stabber, we would have never heard you say anything other than we need to go put Austin Metcalf in prison for life, right? I think your perception is completely determined by race, whereas mine has nothing to do with it. Let's talk about this Kaysen Allison case a bit. Okay, it was a fight. I think everyone agrees. I think there's a video floating around that we couldn't find that talked about in court that Joe Ramirez did throw the first punch. And then Kaysen responded by throwing a punch with a knife in his hand, killing this child in the bathroom of this high school. It's disgusting. But this was a long simmering dispute. And in that long simmering dispute, we have text message where Kaysen had previously asked a friend, bro, bring me a gun. Where Kaysen had expressed a desire to put Joe Ramirez in the hospital, right? In fact, he said, wanted Joe on life support, wanted to stomp his head in, wanted his jaw dangling from his face, and wanted him in the hospital. It is absolutely no doubt that Kaysen Allison was looking for a fight.
Now
and
you're
armed
wrong.
himself.
Now let me correct you.
Okay, correct me. Yeah,
according to his defense team,
are you on? Well, that doesn't mean I'm wrong. That's
according to his defense team. Those threats were going both ways.
Oh yeah, sure.
And right now, the prosecution is putting on their side of the case, and they're showing Mr. Kaysen as having these threatening text messages. But allegedly, these threats were going both ways. In fact, the attorneys are alleging that Mr. Allison never wanted to fight, that he was forced into agreeing to this fight.
Of course they are.
After he had been threatened multiple times, if he didn't fight, what would happen? Also, allegedly, his lawyers saying they agreed to fight off campus away from school, but when they went into the bathroom, his lawyers are claiming that Mr. Allison was jumped by more than just Ramirez. One of his friends jumped in, and when they jumped in, he threw a punch. He got afraid that they were going to jump him. He pulled the knife and stabbed him. That's what the defense is saying in this case. So I'm asking you, if it is true, Mr. Allison's version of events, that he did not want to fight, he was forced into the fight. He goes into the bathroom, and he sees they getting ready to jump him in the bathroom. They swing on him first. He pulls knife to defend himself. Is he a scumbag murderer?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, but there's other evidence, right? And I'm not. Are we shocked that the defense team is saying that? Oh no, it was the other guy.
These are all text.
But there's
no. The defense says this. The defense also says this, that they're going to produce a video, allegedly.
Okay, I don't care.
A video where they went to this boy's house.
You don't take
and tried to get him to come outside to fight.
To a fist fight.
Okay.
You call the police. And in fact, Allison is recorded saying, "We finna catch them tomorrow. I'm going to send him to the hospital." This was somebody instigating a crime. I believe Anthony went to the tent to instigate a conflict, but we got to wait on the evidence of that.
So where's the protesters demanding that he be put in prison? Okay. Where are these white protesters, all these white commentators demanding that Mr. Kaysen, Mr. Allison, go to prison?
In your world, what should be happening is white people should be paying for his bond and paying for his defense.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Buying him a new
what
family.
I'm saying is
but
the selective vitriol.
Maybe
the
there are more non-racist people
white people
that say, hey,
it's repugnant to me.
What do you mean selective vitriol?
Because where's the vitriol for this man?
There's all kinds
of the same
look,
white folk ain't mad about
white,
this.
Black, brown, plaid, green, alien, I don't care.
Where's the media coverage?
Anyone.
Where's the national media coverage?
Right here.
No, come on, man.
Right here.
We don't want talking about this.
Okay, well, that's good.
Where's national media coverage?
That's why everyone should watch the show.
If this was Carmelo Anthony's case, it'd be blown through the world to see. But now, because a white boy did the same exact thing that Carmelo Anthony is alleging, self-defense, you can hear crickets.
What blew Carmelo Anthony's case all around the world was social media. And it was the idiots on social media that were making up stuff and justifying this
But you have the same idiots in Belton County making these same comments in this case.
First of all, Belton County, much smaller town. It's not, Frisco is part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which if you include them as one, would be the third biggest city in the country. And we have this thing where it was a horrible, there's just no justification for what Anthony did to Metcalf. Here we have what looks like, in your description, was a long-standing bitter dispute between two kids that one kid unnecessarily escalated. But any kid that brings a knife to a fist fight is a scumbag. Any kid that murders someone at school is a scumbag.
But where's all these angry white voices in this case? The angry white voices are everywhere in Carmelo Anthony case.
Your assumption,
but there are no angry white voices in this one.
Him
you
for
murder. You can hear crickets. They prosecuting Carmelo Anthony for murder.
But both of them.
Now wait a minute. You talk about the money that was raised.
Okay.
Where it came out that none of that money was used to post his bond.
It's still a bunch of...
One second.
Yeah, because some celebrity rapper walked in and paid it.
Not a penny was given from that money for his defense team.
Okay, a celebrity rapper came in and dropped down a bunch of money.
White conservatives lied and said the family used the money to buy $1 million house.
In fact...
They lied and said,
I didn't
buy
say that.
$1 million house. They lied and say the family used that money to buy a brand new Cadillac.
I didn't say
and
that.
all that was a damn lie.
Okay.
Not a single penny had been given to the Anthony family.
And there were people
from that
saying that Metcalf and Hunter both jumped him. That was a lie. That Metcalf and Hunter are racist. That was a lie. That Metcalf was on drugs. That was a lie. Horrible lies have been told. And yes, I agree. The dishonesty is disgusting. But it doesn't change the fact, I think what you were hoping for was that we would sit down here and I would see that Kaysen Allison, who has the whitest name I've ever heard, Kaysen, right? That Kaysen Allison, I would be justifying his stabbing murder of a classmate.
No,
but I'm not.
What I want to hear from you,
disgusting.
What I want to hear from
and
you
it's not
is
self-defense.
Why is it?
Just like it wasn't self-defense
all these
in
millions
Frisco.
of white
I don't speak for white people.
Who are angry with Carmelo Anthony, and they going publicly with this anger. They ain't got nothing but cricket. They so quiet. My grandmother used to say you could hear rat piss on cotton. Well, that's how quiet these white folks are in this case where the young perpetrator is a white student killing a brown kid.
I can ask you where all the millions of angry black people justifying what Carmelo did, why aren't they sticking up for Kaysen Allison? That's the same question. Because
let me be honest with you.
And no, hold on. I'll let you talk. Let me talk. Right? Here's the thing. I don't think anyone is rallying around this guy because of his skin color. I think a lot of people are rallying behind Anthony because of his skin color.
You don't think them white folks that went to Frisco, Texas, and held a march called White Lives Matter?
No, I'm talking about Kaysen. No, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
That's based on
skin color. It was not as disgusting as the press conference that Anthony had, but it was disgusting. And Metcalf's father said it was disgusting.
Did you see Chicken George at that rally? Did you see Django at that rally? Hell no, Django wasn't there. But Chicken George was there.
Okay.
Did you see Buckwheat?
I don't know who
Buckwheat was at the rally. You didn't see it?
I don't know who those people are.
You didn't see Steppin' and Fetch It?
I don't know who any of those people are.
You didn't see boot licking behind, kissing, pick your cotton
You're
brother.
talking about African Americans that went to show support.
No, I'm talking about the one Negro that was at the Frisco rally. All them white folks talking about the white man died and this is shameful. And black people, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Where y'all find that Negro?
I think
that Negro
right there. You said,
was the
where
most
did y'all,
pathetic expression of a black man I've ever seen. Buckwheat, Chicken George, Steppin' and Fetch It. Where they find that Negro from? It looked like they pulled him out of a closet somewhere where they've been keeping him and brought him out to the public and he's now saying, white lives matter.
Well,
where y'all find this white man from?
I mean, I think
he was black.
I think
but he was damn sure white-minded.
I think black lives matter. I think lives matter generally, but
well,
that's
I mean,
just
they
me.
find the most craziest Negroes to speak for them, don't they?
Look, obviously, there are people that want to have rallies and get attention here, but the truth is that you don't have this groundswell of support for Kaysen Allison because people are looking at that case.
I'm gonna call it right now.
Neutral.
I'm gonna call it right now. He's gonna be found not guilty.
I don't think he will. Right. In fact,
you think he'll be found guilty?
I don't think he should.
You think he'll be found guilty?
If the judge is doing a job, right? His job.
What I ask you.
No, I think he'll be found guilty.
I say not guilty in this case. You know why?
Racism. Okay.
Because you and I both know down in Belton County.
Belton County, pretty Belton County.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that
everybody down there waving "Make America Great Again" flag.
And I'll explain.
I don't think that poor little Hispanic family ain't gonna have a chance down there with that jury.
Okay. Belton is pretty diverse when you look at there is a lot of Hispanic people that live there. But let's talk about the law. In Section 932 of the Texas Penal Code lists when you can use deadly force. And someone punching you is not something that you can use deadly force in the state of Texas, right? I don't think the judge should even give
an
instruction.
You're being jumped?
I don't think the judge, yes, you have to be in legitimate fear of your life.
Even if you got more than one person, quote unquote, maybe attacking you.
Stomping on your head or something, but we don't have any facts like that, just like we don't in the Anthony matter. I don't think he should be entitled to the instruction on self-defense. In fact, I think that would be error for the judge to let the jury consider it.
I say you're going to let it happen.
I think this scumbag needs to.
He's going to let it happen.
I think this scumbag, who happens to be white, should spend the rest of his life in prison, just like I think Anthony should. And I think it's hypocrisy for you to say the converse.
If that's the defense's position, that it was self-defense. If the young man, when he was questioned by law enforcement,
he said the same thing Anthony did.
Same exact,
I was protecting
it was
myself.
Self-defense. You and I both know the jury is going to be allowed to hear that.
Okay.
And the jury will be allowed to consider that.
How about you? You know, you think Anthony was absolutely entitled to self-defense stabbing of an unarmed kid in the chest and killing. We've heard that from you on this show. Do you think Allison was justified in killing Ramirez?
I'm going to be very honest with you.
That'd be a nice change of pace.
I'm going to be dead honest with you, man, because I'm consistent. If the young white kid, Mr. Allison, absolutely did not want to fight and he was afraid to fight, like he's saying, one. If they tried to jump him in that bathroom and he was afraid for his safety and his life when he tried to jump him, and he pulled that.
But he's not saying he's afraid for his life.
That's what he's alleging. Yes, he is. So if he's saying that he stabbed them because they were trying to jump him and he didn't want to fight, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's murder. It may be manslaughter. I don't see murder, though.
Okay. Well, I couldn't disagree more. So do you think Anthony committed manslaughter?
I believe that Carmelo Anthony really defended himself, in
From
all
what?
honesty. Let me
From
say
being
this.
shoved?
I'll be honest with you. When you look at Carmelo Anthony, 135 pounds, you look at the young man who was terroristically threatening him, who physically put his hands on him.
You're making that up.
No, that's
not
not true. Who physically put his hands on him, and he's 220 pounds. I believe that Carmelo Anthony was afraid for his life, and he used that weapon in self-defense. I don't think Carmelo tried to kill him. I think Carmelo used that weapon to get him off of him and to get away from him, but I don't think he tried to kill him. I think the death was the end result, but I don't think that Carmelo went to the track meet looking for trouble. I don't think he brought a weapon looking for trouble, and when it really comes out about the weapon part, a lot of people are going to be shocked by that.
Okay, so...
because it's not a knife. Let me say this. It's not a knife like they're saying.
Okay.
And that young man didn't go get no butcher knife or go to the store and buy no knife and put that in that bag or that track meet. You're going to be shocked at the fact that it comes out what kind of weapon it really was.
But you don't think, right, that's just your opinion, but if we talk about the facts, right?
I don't think it was murder in either case.
Okay. You don't think shoving a knife into the middle of someone's chest is murder?
If what these young men are alleging is true, that they were threatened and forced into a conflict situation.
Anthony has not alleged that he was threatened.
Yes, he was.
No.
No, he does
No
allege.
one said, I'm going to kill you, Anthony. No one said,
excuse me, you don't have to tell somebody I'm going to kill you to threaten them.
To make them think you're
threatening them. You're a former cop.
What did Anthony say?
You're a former cop.
What did Metcalf say?
And a former lawyer.
What did Metcalf say?
Both know you ain't got to say I'm going to kill you for it to be considered a terroristic threat.
I think Anthony could have shoved him back, but what is it that you think Metcalf said
let me be honest with
to
you.
justify his murder?
I really wish, in all honesty.
Because we know what Kaysen said.
I wish that Carmelo had ran away. I really do.
Okay.
Because
so do I.
I'm sure even right now Carmelo wish he had ran away.
No, he should have.
But at the end of the day,
instead everyone's treating him like a hero, like a warrior for justice.
No, Carmelo had a right to sit there, man.
No, he didn't.
He was trying to get out the rain.
There was no law. You can't.
So it's pouring down
There's
raining.
no law that says you can't go in the other team's dugout.
It's pouring down raining. He can't go up in the damn tent. Okay. It's pouring down raining.
But again, what is it that Metcalf said? You said he terroristically threatened him. Well, what did he say? How did he threaten him?
That's going to come out.
What did he say?
If you don't move, I'm a such and such.
Oh, what scene do you use? He said, if you
I
don't
want to get too deep into it,
it.
but if you don't move, such and such is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And Charles.
No, none of the witnesses said that.
But where's the massive white outrage for this case on in Belton, Texas?
Because I think that there are people that are viewing it in a
white
race-neutral way.
Don't care what that young white boy did.
No, white people
they don't
are prosecuting.
But a black man killing a white person in this country?
No, it's disgusting.
There's always been white rage for that one.
No, it's disgusting to justify a school murder just because the murderer is
gonna
black.
let that dude
That's
off.
what you did.
Belton County jury gonna let him off.
Watch. This kid
Remember,
is
I
going to go
told
to
you,
prison,
watch.
and Anthony should follow him in prison.
Well, we're gonna see.
And that's what we should have in America. We should have consequences to people bringing violent, deadly weapons to school and killing people.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig,
come on, man, let's split a ride home.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
I think we should be uniform in our position on anything, on everything, and that race shouldn't determine how we frame or view an issue. I think that is at the heart of racism. I think when this kid, Cason Allison, who's no longer a kid, this young man, decided to pull out a knife and kill a guy he had beef with in his high school, he committed murder. Much like I think Carmelo Anthony, when he pulled out a knife and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart and killed him, that was murder. In the state of Texas, you cannot respond to mere physical force, whether it be a touching or a push, which is what Anthony alleged happened, or a punch, which is what everyone is alleging Joe Ramirez did to Cason Little. You cannot respond to that with a deadly weapon using deadly force to kill someone. It's not allowed by the law in Texas. It should not be considered by either court. Neither judge should allow for an instruction on it. And what we should be telling kids is don't kill people, period.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin to have sincere conversations, serious, with our young people. Social media is being used as extreme peer pressure to get a lot of our young people into physical conflicts and physical violence. Teach our young people that it's not weak. It doesn't make you a coward to walk away from conflict and go to an adult and ask for assistance and help in resolving the conflict. Peer pressure is causing many of our young people to get involved in violent acts that ends up with somebody going to the graveyard, somebody going to prison, or somebody being put in a hospital with irreparable damage. It's wrong what is happening in America with social media and the peer pressure of our young people. Let us come together and do something about this, because this is going to continue to happen over and over again. People making threats on social media and being on social media where they're going to fight, where the fight's going to take place. And you got all these cowards pumping them up. And when they get in trouble, the cowards ain't got nothing to say in your defense or send you 1 penny in commissary.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey,
Stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You
and
interrupt
let
me all the
speak to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, is this our America? Congressman Al Green speaks out after another lawmaker refers to him as boy. Plus, the Trump administration is working on ways to inspire the next baby boom. And it's all about dollars and cash for children.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored. Big developments from the Texas Capitol. Today, the Senate advanced a bill for a $1 billion private school voucher plan. Governor Greg Abbott has been fighting in favor of the program for the last 2 years. It would allow families to use money from taxpayers to pay for their children's private school education, as well as other school-related